Okay, good morning, all of you. And today we have discussed about the concept of the direct manipulation. So first we know that what is direct manipulation? The anything which is seen our eyes and we have to manipulate directly. That we can say that it's called the direct manipulation. So these are the some topics we will discuss today. And the concept of direct manipulation, what kind of concept are there? And second one is earlier direct manipulation system and the indirect manipulation basically we have to indirectly manipulate the any object and any object. So what is direct manipulation, the term used to describe this style of interaction for the graphical system was first used by the Sinderman in 1982, and he called them direct manipulation system, suggesting that they possess the following characteristics. Just like in this diagram, there is the drop down menus, that is we have to directly drop and down, and then we have select the any things. Second one, we have to context to any word, and we have to select any file name, and system container object, subdoor object. These are the directly we have to manipulate all these buttons, just like installation guide, back, next, and cancel. So that is called the directly manipulation. We have to manipulate directly by the mouse and any input devices. So the first concept is means in the real world we have to see anything and we have to touch anything. So just like the same like is in the real world, we have to manipulate into the computer system also. The system is portrayed as the extension of the real world. So that's why the system is called the extension of the real world. It is assumed that a person is already familiar with the object and action in his or environment of the interest. Just like I have take a pen and just like to write something, so same like I have using the mouse and keyboard and move to the surface area of the desktop and then click anything and open anything. So basically the system simply replied that and the portrays them on a different medium on the screen. So a person has a power to access and modify these objects, among which are windows which is residing in the window. Just like in the desktop, so many icons are there and we have to just click on the one icon and open and click and then particular icon. So basically that is like of the real world interaction. So person is basically is allowed to work in a family environment, and it is a familiar way, focusing on the data, not the application, the tools. So any anything we have to using, just like we have to surfing any topic, just we have to googling that particular topics and just open that kind of different areas of that particular topics. So we have to just focus on the data and not the application, how that process. So the physical organization of the system, which most often is unfamiliar, is hidden from the view and not a distraction. Okay, so that is the basic the concept. First one is the continuous visibility of the object. Just like we have to continuous visible to any object, any icons, any folders, any videos, so and actions. Okay, we have to know that what kind of action. Just like we have to play a video and just reverse, forward, stop, pause, start. So these are the some actions are there. So like one desktop object are continuously visible. Okay, so reminder of action to be performed are also obvious, just like to labels button, replacing complex syntax and the command names. Okay, so the mouse cursor action and the motion occurs in physically obvious and intuitively natural ways. Just like our eyes, hand and eyes movement are there. National 1980 described this concept as a virtual reality, a representation of reality that can be manipulated. So the virtual reality terms, which is basically introduced into the 1980 by the Nelson. And same like as Hetfield is 1981 is credited with the calling as WYSIWYZ, means what you see is what you get. Uh, what you see is what you get in the desktop icons, which if you see the desktop icon, just to achieve we can get that particular icons and we can open that particular folder, any application, any tools. And Rutosky is 1982 described it as transparency, where one's intellect is applied to the task. Okay, not the tools. And next one is Hutchins, Holland and Norman 1986 considers its direct involvement with the world of objects rather than communicating with the intermediary. Okay, So these are the some different person view about the direct manipulation. So one problem in the direct manipulation, however, is there is no direct analogy on the DEX for all necessary window operation. Just imagine like if you want if your desktop is totally full, just like so many tasks are there in your systems, and the desktop is totally capture the, so how can we search any particular task, a particular action we have to perform. So a piece of paper of, just like piece of paper of the paper of one task, maintain a constant size, never sinking growing, just like a piece of paper in the real world. Not we can to shrink, then not we have to expand that. So just like the desktop is a just like the paper, piece of paper, where different icons, different folder, different actions to be performed. So Windows can do both. Solving this problem required embedding a control panel, a familiar concept most people, in a window border. So this control panel is manipulated, not the window itself. So we have to manipulate it only the control panel. We already know that what is control panel. Control panel is basically a panel which is we have to control the any software, any tools. We have to add and remove the programs by you, and we have to change the Windows configuration by the using of the control panel. Next one is the concept is actions are rapid and incremental with visible display of the result. Okay, just like we have to move the cursor from one position to the another position, so that is visibly display of our result. So since tactile feedback is not yet possible, so as would occur with one's hand when one touch something, just like in the real world we have to identify if we have to one hand or one touch, then we have to something we have to touch. The result of actions are immediately displayed, just like in your our mouse cursor, we have to click on the first application, any folder, just to click and then show into the desktop, that is the by the someone is clicking this icons. So display visually on the screen in their new and current form. Okay, so auditory feedback, just like to auditory feedback means just create a audio sound. If you click that, then that's create a one click sound, and if we double click, then it show the double click sign. So auditory feedback is also maybe also be provided by if you are any icons we have to click, any application we have to open, so create a auditory feedback also as there. The impact of previous action is quickly seen, just like I want to open any folder from the drive C, and just go to the C first. I have selected the C drive, then go to the next folder, then goes to the next folder. So previous action is quickly seen, and evolution of task is continuously and the effortless. So incremental action are easily reversible. Okay, just like I am go to the C program file, system32, and different folder are there. So just I have to back that previous one also. So finally, action, if discovered to be incorrect or not desired, can be easily undone. Okay. So direct manipulation may not be feasible. Sometimes there is direct manipulation may not be feasible because if the all the operations, all the action are we cannot do into the one screen, we are not always seen. So that's why the direct manipulation may not be feasible. The operation may be difficult to conceptualize in the graphical system. The graphical capabilities of the system may be limited. There is only one page in this slides. There is only the these points are there. In the previous one there are different points, in the next one is a different point. So that is the limitation of that particular screen. I have to put on all value, all the lines in this slide, only one. So the amount of space available for placing manipulation control in the Windows border may be limited. So that's why we have to using the another manipulation introduced. So it may be difficult to people to learn and remember all the necessary operation and actions. So just like in the today's scenarios, so we have a mobile, and then in this mobile there are so many contacts are there. So we can't remember the all the contacts number, all the mobile number. So just we have to swipe down, up and down, and when to search or any search button that we are using that particular open that particular contact. So that's why that is the mobile screen is limited, not the whole are there. So that indirect manipulation, swapping button is also you are using, and or search button are also given. So that's why we have to using that these actions, because there is the limited size. So in the previous, we talked about to the previous earlier direct manipulation. So in the earlier direct manipulation, basically using the above definition, the concept of direct manipulation actually proceed the first graphical system, because in the previous one, we starting of the window that using we are using the MS DOS, just like there is using the command button. So there is no graphical system are there, just we put into the command, and then the command is executed and show the output in the command form. So the earliest full screen text editor possesses similar characteristics. Screen of the test resembling a piece of paper of one text could be created, extension of the real world, and then reviewed in their entirely continuous visibility. Okay, so editing or reconstructing could be easily accomplished into the graphical system. Why? Because if you have options for the configure the any windows, and you can easily change and edit and increase anything you can to reconstruct through rapid incremental action, and the result is immediately seen your screen. Just like you have to open the folder, just the windows is open your folder, and you have to see that. So actions could be reversed when necessary. So the undo button is also there for any windows if you are something doing something wrong. So that's why we have to using that undo button is also useful. It took the advent of graphical system to crystallize the direct manipulation concept, however. So next is thing the indirect manipulation. So indirect manipulation is basically is the substitute word and text. Okay, such as pull down or pop up menus, or the slides button, or the up and down for symbols, and substituting typing of the pointing. Okay, so most Windows system are a combination of both direct and indirect. Why? Because if we are using the only indirect button, so then we can't see what is the direct button are there. If we are using only the direct button, so there is a limited capabilities of the graphical system. So that's why Windows are using to the combination of both of them. Okay, so a menu may be accessed by pointing at a menu icon and then selecting it. That is called the direct manipulation. Okay, that is called the direct manipulation. And the menu itself, however, is a textual list of operation, that is called the indirect manipulation. So just like in your any application, and just like I am talking about to the Microsoft Office, that is the full file, then edit, then options, then different are menus item are there. So just we have to click on the file, that it show the next menu items, just like to new, open, save as, properties, and so many menus item are displayed. So that we have to see that we can go direct manipulation. In the behind of direct manipulation, that we can say that the indirect manipulation. Okay, so when an operation is selected from the list, just like I am clicking on to the edit button into the Microsoft Office, by pointing or typing. Okay, so the system execute it is a command. So just click on the edit button, then show the next menu items. So that is called the action, and that we have to click on the menu, that is called the object. So which is style of interaction, direct manipulation or indirect manipulation, or combination of both is best? So under what condition and for whom remain a question whose answer still in the elude us, because we are talking about the different things are there, and we have to using because different scenario, that is the direct manipulation is all only required, and some position is the indirect and direct manipulation, both are required. So that is the combination is always all the windows, all type of windows, just like Windows and Linux, and different are there, graphical system are using, they are using the both. In mobile also we have to using the both also, because slide, if we slide from one screen to the another screen, that is also called the indirect manipulation. First screen that show the direct manipulation, then swap to the another screen, that could call, we can say that the indirect manipulation. So these are the some characteristic of the GUI is also are there. So the graphical system possesses a set of defining concept, which type of different characteristics are we have to know that about the GUI. First is sophisticated visual presentation. Just like to visual presentation is very sophisticated, very neat and clear, very we can say that very balanced. Pick and click interaction, pick and click, just like to mouse that first we have to pick, yeah, or we can say that we have to point out that particular and then click interaction. A restricted set of interface options, just like we have to limited size, so that is a very limited set of options are there. Visualization, which is visualization means we have to visualize that particular actions are also there. We have to move forward from one location to the another location, that we have to visualize. Object orientation are there, extensive use of person recognition memory, and concurrent performance of the function. So these are the some characteristics which is into the any GUI form. So first is sophisticated visual presentation. So visual presentation means the visual aspect of the interface. Okay, just like I have to present these slides, and that is the visually you have to see. So it is what people see on the screen. So the sophistication of the graphical system permit displaying line including driving and the icons. Okay, it's also permit the displaying the variety of the character fonts including different size, style. There are lots of colors, 16 million of colors, and more colors is possible on the some screens. Graphics also permit animation, just like you have to copy paste from one location to the another location any data. So just the animation are there. The file is move one location to the another location, and the presentation of the photographs and motion videos. The meaningful interface element visually presented to the user in the graphical system, including windows, just like the primary window which is seen, dialog box, menus. There are different menus are there. Menu bar, pull down, pop up, cascading menus are there. Icons to represent the objects, just like any folder, any action, any tools such as program or the files. Assorted screen based control, just like the text boxes, list boxes, combination boxes, settings, scroll bar, sliding buttons, and the mouse pointers and the cursor are there. So these are the some we can say that the visual presentation of the screen. Pick and click interaction means we have to pick and click, just like to mouse movement of the mouse. So element of the GUI screen upon which someone action is to be performed must first to be identified, and the motor activity required for the person to identify this element for a proposed action is commonly referred to as a pick. Just like to slide a mouse pointer to one location to the another location and click on that particular pick, first pick, then we have to click. The signal to perform on action as a click. The primary mechanism from this pick and click is most often the mouse and its button. Okay, so mouse movement is for the pick using, and the click button is used for the click purpose. The user mouse to move the mouse pointer to the given element, that is called the pick, and the action is signal, that is called the click. So position pointing allow rapid selection and the feedback. The eye, hand and mind seems to work smoothly and efficiently together. The secondary mechanism for performing these selection action is the keyboard. So most system permit pick and click to be performed using the keyboard as well. Restricted set of interface option. We know that we have a graphical screen, and that is very limited size. So the array of alternative available to the users, what is presented on the screen and what may be retrieved from what is presented on the screen, nothing less, nothing more. So this concept fostered the acronym what you see is what you get, WYSI WYZ. So what you see is what you get. Visualization means we have to visualize the cognitive process that allow people to understand information that is difficult to perceive, because it is either too voluminous or the too abstract. Okay, just like something animation movies are there, we have to listen audio movies or visualize the animation movie. So which one is good for human cognitive mind? That is visualization. So it involves changing an entity representation to reveal gradually the structure or the function of the underlying system or the process. So presenting a specialized graphic portrait facilitate visualization. So the best visualization method for an activity depend on what people are trying to learn from the data. So the goal is not necessary. The goal is not necessary to reproduce a realistic graphical image, but to produce one that convey the most relevant information. Okay, effective visualization can facilitate mental insight, increase productivity, and for faster and more accurate use of the data, because the visualization is very effective for the human's cognitive mind. Because if we see something or if we listen something, so the memory recognized to the seeing capacity. So that's why the visualization is very effective, very productive, very faster and more accurate. Object orientation, different type of objects are there. We have two graphical system consist of object and action. Objects just like the folder, tools, or icons, these are the objects are there. Objects are what people see on the screen. They are manipulated as a single unit. A well-designed system keeps user focused on the object, not on how to carry out action. Object can be composed of sub-object. One object including another object, then including another object. So containers objects are objects to hold other objects. Okay, container means more objects are there. So they are used group two or more related object for easy access and the retrieval. So there are three kind of container objects are there: the workplace, folders, and the work area. Okay, workplace, folders, and the work area. So workplace means the desktop. That is the your desktop. That is called the workplace. Storage area of all object. Folder are general purpose container for long term storing of the object, just like your folder. And work area are the temporary or storage folder used for storing multiple objects currently being worked on. Okay, so basically we have working object orientation. Three are there. First is workplace, just like your desktop. Second is folder, just like your folder, any folder. And third one is your temporary storage folder, which you have worked on that particular temporary work. Okay, after that if we are using the long term storage, that we have to using the storage, just like if you open any file, any word file, any excel file, is to open that new file, and that is working on the temporary working. Okay, if we are using save, then it's using the permanent working. Okay, otherwise temporary file is lost if you are not saving that particular file. So device object represent physical object in the real world, such as printer or trash baskets, and these objects may contain other from the acting upon a file or example may be placed in a printer or printing of its content. Microsoft Windows specific the characteristics of object depending upon the relationship that exists between them. Okay, so object can exist within the context of other object, and one object may affect to the way of the another object, just like if your word file of 10 to 15 pages. So just if you are delete one pages, and then the previous next 10 pages is up or down, and then the page number will be changed. So the object affect to the way another object appears or behave. So these relationships are called the collection, constraint, composites, and the container. Collection means it is the simplest relationship the objects sharing a common aspect. Collection might be result of query or a multiple selection of objects. So operation can be applied to the collection of object. Okay, constraint is a strong object relationship. So changing an object is a set affects some other object in the set. A document being organized into pages is an example of the constraint. Third one is a composite exists when the relationship between objects becomes so significant that the aggregation itself can be identified as an object. So example include a range of cells organized into the spreadsheet, or a collection of words organized into the paragraph. Okay, that is called the composite. Container is an object which in one object which other object are exists. Example include text in a document or a document in a folder. First is folder, then document including the text, then into the paragraph, and then into the line. It is the combination of the any paragraph. So and container, it may add a suppress certain properties of the operation of the object placed within its control access to its content or control access to the kind of object to be accept. So these relationships help define an object type, similar traits and behavior exist in the object of the same object type. So another important object characteristic is persistent, and persistence is the maintenance of a state when it's established. Object state means, for example, window size, cursor, location, scroll position, and so on. That is called the object state. So it is automatically preserved when the user change it is. Okay. So what kind of attribute of the object? Properties of the object. Object have a properties of the attributes. Properties are the unique characteristics. Property help to describe an object and can be changed by the users. Example of the properties of the object, just like the text style, just like the font, just like the Windows background color. So different type of attributes are we have to change into the object. Use of recognition memory. We already know that the human cognitive process, that is remember some thing which is happened with that particular person. So continuous visibility of the objects and the action encourage use of a person's more powerful recognition memory. So the out of the sight is, we can say that the out of the mind. Okay, so that problem is eliminated if the continuous we have to see in that particular object and the action. Concurrent performance of the function, that is we have a graphical system that may we are using so two more thing one at a time, just like we have to working on the office, word, excel, and we have to listen the song. So that is the and also we have to surfing something another into the websites and copy paste to the word. So different actions together we have to using. So multiple program may run simultaneously when a system is not busy on a primary task. It may process background task, cooperating multitasking. When application is running as truly separated tasks, the system may divide the processing power into the time slices and allocate portion to the each application, just like the primitive multitasking. Data may be also be transferred between program, so it may be temporarily stored on a clipboard for the later transferred by automatically swapped between the programs. So today's we have to discuss about to the concurrent characteristic of the GUI, direct manipulation and the direct manipulation. So I think if you have any query regarding these topics, then just mail to the my mail ID guptapradeep@akgc.ac.in. Thank you.